if you're that guy, then people are going to talk about you. I mean, that means you're doing something right. Yeah, I know I earned the gold buckles. Have I not been, questioned about it? I have. Someone said that year didn't count to win the world, but it's not won over 10 days. It's won over the 365 days, the all-night drives, the struggles, the sicknesses, the pain. That's where world championships won. It's not won over 10 nights. All 365 days, I guarantee you no one was working as hard as I was at it. I was by myself all year. That grit in me that I could do this, and I know what I want. I want to win world championships.
Today we got a treat for you. We got Shad Money Mayfield on the podcast. He's the most polarizing superstar in rodeo today. What he's done and built for himself is really something special. 2-time world champion, American winner twice. Really and truthfully, if there's a rodeo across the country that they have, I bet you he's won it. All-around world champion, tie-down world champion. His dad made the NFR. We got deep down to the nitty-gritty and talked about everything from childhood growing up, how he got to where he is, and what it takes to stay on top. Been through a lot of adversity. Yeah, he's had hip injuries, dealt with a lot of stuff, has some of the best horses in the game. They're very kind of famous creatures in their own right, and he tells you all about it. So it was a lot of fun to get to talk to him. We actually talked to him a few months back. We've been holding on to this podcast because Cole was also working on the Road to the NFR documentary that you can find on Let's Freakin Rodeo YouTube. Shad has the most watches right now on his episode. Shad has the most views. So that's why we've been holding us on to this episode. If there's some things that were a few months back that don't make sense in September, that's why. So kind of bear with us on that. But we're really excited to drop this episode. We hope you enjoy it. Thank you so much for listening, and Let's Freakin Rodeo.
The first time I see Shad Mayfield, you're a 6th grader in Gallup, New Mexico, ribbon roping on a buckskin horse, firing it come across there. How did you get from there to sitting here being the San Angelo champion 2025 and a 2-time world champion?
Man, I came a long way from that young kid. I think I was 13 years old there in Gallup, ribbon roping with my sister. That was the biggest stage I thought I ever been on. I was so nervous. But that's how, right there was how I was raised up to rope. Just nod, go, pull, throw your rope. And I remember roping the dummy, me and my dad out there 100 times in Gallup. I was so dang nervous. I didn't know what to expect. And we're coming high call back in the short round. And I fell down in the short round. Rope fell off my horse. My sister gets knocked down by the calf. There's a lot going on. And I looked up, we still won it. And I think ever since then, that's kind of what I learned what winning feels like and how good it felt. And ever since then, I tried everything to do that over and over again.
I've never heard an arena like it was at Thomas Mack when you go 6'1". I mean, they got pretty loud for his 6'4". Probably should have even been louder, breaking the arena record. Yeah. But then you go next roper and go 6'1". I mean, I'm getting chills thinking about what that arena did. That freaking San Angelo rodeo right here, the fans, man, it's like that every night. It feels like when you go make a good run and take the lead, like they get pumped up.
Because the San Angelo crowd, they understand calf rope.
Yeah,
like they all know what's going on. And ever since San Antonio, I haven't just won a whole lot. I've kind of just been there. So kind of the eyes were all off of me right there. So people were wondering, where's he at? And at that moment, like I ride into the box, I said, this is your time to show, you're here. You ain't gone nowhere. And stuff like that, that's what I live for.
Me and him, when we started doing this podcast, I said, man, I want to be able to talk to these people and talk about the stories, because people from the outside, they see Shad Mayfield wins the American, wins San Antonio, wins the world, season leader. He's winning 200, 300,000 a year, but they're not seeing the trials and what you have to go through, or me or everybody else that has that what they do to win world titles. Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying at all like I've been on that stage, but we go out there and do this every single day. We got to go through a lot of shit to get to where you're at. I mean,
oh man, people. That's the highlights. Cowboy Channel. Shad just won this. Ty just won this. But it's like, they don't say like, oh, he just messed off winning Logandale, or, what's going on. I only got one horse right now, this or that, not all the other stuff going along with it. And we go through so much. I heard the other day, what's a good season in the PRCA? Winning 40 or 50%, that's good. That's under half winning under half the rodeos during a season is good.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy because you're dealing with 60% of the losses.
Yep.
People don't realize how hard that can be on you. I mean, everything else going on, the bills. I mean, I'm lucky that I know how to manage myself to where I can rodeo comfortably. But I mean, I've been that guy that's roping for, this is it. You got to freaking back in the box and win to go to the next one. I've been there.
You just say you're a competitive guy. You love when people poke you and say stuff to you, do you think that makes you better? Or do you think sometimes that gets in the way when you're worried about stuff that's extracurricular? If you just stayed in your lane, you would be better. Or, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes it does good. Is there times when it's not good for you?
I stay in my lane at the finals, and that's where I'm going wrong. I feel like that's just, I don't need to stay in my lane. I like to, really get out there. That's what fuels me. I mean, everybody's different. And here's one thing people don't really realize is I'm 24 in this generation, but I was raised by my dad that's 72 years old. That was in Roy Cooper's generation, way before everyone else. So I was raised kind of old school. I got an old school mentality. It's a little different than everybody coming up. Like I want to poke everybody. I want to not in a cocky manner. Like I respect everybody. Like I respect every roper that I want to poke. They're great ropers, but it's just in me that's what, kind of fuels me. That's what excites me. That's what gets my blood flowing. And being raised by my dad, it was old school. Like, I feel like I'm the only guy left in this generation that was, raised by a real old school guy like that and tough. He was raised the same way with Roy. I mean, it was different. I mean, sitting there in the practice pen with Silver, I mean, people don't see or hear the stuff that I heard and went through for sure.
I've heard stories. I watched you from the outside looking in, but you didn't just become Shad Mayfield, like what was that like?
Man, it's just mental. My mental game got so tough hanging around my dad. I mean, he's one of the toughest guys I've ever been around, ever met. I mean, he's tough. So I had to be able to be around him and be able to make it. I had to be tough. I mean, there was no choice. It was either be an amateur the rest of your life or step it up and be a pro. It all started in the practice pen, man. It was just different. I mean, I don't think anybody else could have went out in the practice pen and roped with me. Just the fuel that he put to me and the stuff I had to do. I mean, you could be on your good horse. You ain't going past 2 swings. I mean, you're going to rope regardless. You're going to rope right here. Well, Dad, my horse is tight. Keep roping right here. 2 swings right here. I'd freaking take 3, 4, 5 swings down the pen, track over a calf, set my run up, blast one. That ain't it. I mean, we rope it like, this and that. We'd have fits in the practice pen. I mean, fits. I mean, that was it. He turned the calves out. These are my horses, this and that. You ain't doing it. I mean, we'd have them fits, but that's how I'm tough, I went through stuff like that. And there's so much more stories there that I can't even remember them all, but it was just stuff like that. I mean, he'd put me on any type of horse. I could be on any of them horses I'd rode back in the day. I'd walk by today in this world and not even, look at them. I mean, I'd back in the box, horse would do whatever. Horse could lope and it's 2 swings on a fast running beef calf. Throw it. I mean, that's what he'd say. Throw it. Keep going. I mean, we were pedal to the metal every freaking day, every day. We'd have to work all day. I mean, we didn't come from a whole lot. My dad, he hustled to make a living for us to rodeo. So, I'd help him work all day, be it work sale barns, ride horses, whatever we had to do. And then at night we'd rope. We'd rope till, 11, 12, midnight, all night. I mean, we'd get it. Monty Lewis come rope with me a lot. I mean, people don't really realize I learned more off Monty Lewis than anything. I mean, Monty would come in his 1-horse bumper pool. He'd show up about 9:00. We'd hang out in the barn. We'd go out, me and Monty, and start tying. We'd sit there and tie forever. Tie on the ground, tie from the post. And sometimes my dad would have something for Monty to ride. Sometimes he'd have like I said, 1-horse bumper pool. Unload a horse and run 25, 30 calves on that horse. I'm not kidding.
Which people need to know that's unheard of.
That's unheard of on 1 horse. He'd unload that horse and we'd rope. And then he'd get off for a minute, let his horse breathe, help me while I get on another horse and rope. And then he'd get back on his horse. Let me run some more. Run some more. Same thing. Unloosen his horse, let him sit for a little bit. I get on another horse and rope, get back on his horse. He might get on my dad's, he might not. But Monty'd come over about, 2-3 days a week, and we'd rope till 2 or 3 in the morning, and he'd head back to Hereford. He lived just an hour from us. And, being around Monty, I learned more from him than anybody. Him and my dad being there in the practice pen. I mean, it was the best times. I mean, cold nights, we'd have the fire right there going. My dad would be cooking a steak or some hot lunch or something, and we'd sit over there and eat, and then we'd go back to roping. I mean, that's the only thing on my mind at the time.
Man, do you ever feel like now when you're practicing, getting ready for these rodeos and stuff, is it hard to get exactly where you need to be? I mean, you ran all of them calves growing up, hundreds and thousands of calves to stay ready and to get confident and get ready for the rodeo. But now you probably can't do that. You got problems with your hips. You got problems with your body. You got this and you got that, and you don't have all those practice horses. And like you said, you don't want to just rope on whatever horse. And you got lollipop you're taking to the rodeo. Is it more of just getting your mind ready? How do you get your physically, mentally, how do you get ready for the rodeo? I mean,
yeah, it used to be, before I had problems with my hips, I had practice horses. I had, help. I'd run 20, 30 calves a day, tie all day, every day. If you're in a slump, I need to go practice. I need to go run some calves, this or that. That all changed last year when the hip stuff, I thought I could still rope, but I had to realize that when I feel the best is when I don't rope. So I kind of had to cut out practice. But I just kept a rhythm. It was like last year when I won Fort Worth and then San Antonio and just the success I had then, I wasn't even practicing. It was just, I was on a roll. I was mentally, that's when I figured out. And even being on the summertime on the trail, when you're going through a slump and think I need to stop in somewhere and practice, because that's how I used to be. It's like, no, it's all in your head. It's all muscle memory at this point. Like, you know what to do. You just got to go out there and do it. And like I said, today I run before St. Angelo. I went home and I run 3 calves before I come over here, and it was horrible. I mean, I tied 3 calves and 12 right there. Like it was, I can't do I hurt, but people don't really realize the pain that I go through with my body. But I can't, at home, there's no adrenaline. There's nothing really pushing me. You ain't going to see me at home tying a calf in 7. It just ain't going to happen. But you put myself in a situation like here in San Angelo, I'm a lock in, and it's all starts with your mental game. And, it sucks sometimes. I want to stop and be like, man, Kyle Lucas will come and practice, or anybody will come and practice with me. They could just run all these calves. I'm like, man, I want to freaking do it. And I'd help them tie. There's been times I've had people come over and I just had to help them tie. Like, these guys are just going in, and I'm like, man, I wish I could, at my best ability, be able to step across these calves with y'all like I used to. And it sucks because I'm just 24 years old. You never thought it'd come to a point of that, to where I've had to slow down. But, it's helped my mental game for sure. It's helped me locked in a lot more.
I mean, the greats before y'all, are they practicing in their 30s like they are in their 20s? I mean, I'm thinking, here's my question is like, you're not practicing now. Is that going to affect you in your 30s? Or, man, do I need to heal up, get better, get right, start practicing again so that I'm long? What's that thought process in your mind of like, I want to win right now, but also I want to prepare for my future because you're going to be in this for a while?
Yeah, that's a tricky one. Looking in your 30s, man, that's hard. Ty, what do you think, roping in your 30s, baby, bro? I was talking to somebody the other day. I was
just be glad you got 2 of them.
Oh, dude, I was like, man, how many more finals I got left? I said, man, probably 10. I'll be 34. I said, surely you got more than that. I said, man, I don't know. I said, it just depends. I mean, I can't imagine being 30-something years old and needing to go out there and practice, but I'm gonna get fixed soon. I said, I don't know the right day, but one time I'm gonna have to take 6 months off to go get fixed. And I feel like coming back off of that, I'm going to have to go practice. I'm going to have to get back, being off 6 to 8 months. That's going to be hard. It's going to be it's going to be hard to get the groove back. I've been scared to do surgery for the past 2 years. People say I should have done it. People say, hold off. I mean, in my mind, I'm like, man, I'm not ready. I said, if I go sit down and do surgery, I'm scared how I'll come back. I'm in my prime right now. I'm still winning. I'm scared how I'm going to come back in 6 to 8 months. That's a big deal because, how am I going to be worried about having to have surgery again, this or that? Like, it's really frightening, but I know I'm going to have to get it done so that I can feel better in my 30s and be able to continue being competitive, because when I'm 30, there's going to be a whole nother group of guys my age dominating the sport, and we're going to hate to see it, and I'm going to have to be able to compete right there with them.
One of the main questions that I had was 2019, Silver's out there with his shorts and his boots on that bike. And we pull up to Ellensburg, Washington, and Shad Mayfield's riding this Lopin Black. And he's not in the top 15. And he ties this sucker in 7. God knows how.
Oh, man, that old good black right there. Let me tell you, he was 21 years old that year and had 2 big old knees like that. My dad kept him rolling on dexambanamine and B12, and that's all we had. We paid $7,500 for that horse. We couldn't go buy expensive horses at the time, and my dad made me rodeo with him that year. That was frustrating. We fought a lot. We went home a lot. We was in Red Bluff. I didn't do no good out there. We turned out of Clovis. We went home. We got into it. I swear, we got
Clovis
into it.
is in your...
No, Clovis, California.
Oh.
But they had to drive past Clovis.
We drove past Clovis. He said, we ain't dealing with this. We got to go back home and work. I swear. And we drove past Clovis, California. I drove. My dad rodeoed with me that year. His lazy ass didn't do shit. He stayed in the trailer. I swear, we had an old trailer, had the generator in the back bed of the truck, and we had the cord running from the generator to the bed of the truck to the trailer, hung up with zip ties. He'd ride in the trailer. I'd drive everywhere. But he wasn't going to let me rodeo because he, old school, he knew how it was out there. Which today, is the best thing. I'm grateful he did rodeo with me that year. There's no telling what route I could have went on. But I drove all night from Red Bluff, went past Clovis, pulled into Clovis, New Mexico, to where we lived, dropped his ass off, and I drove all night to Alvarado, Texas, Joe Beaver's Easter Open. And I said, man, I got to go get some money back. I got to go get my confidence, beat these kids, get my confidence back up. I won Joe Beaver's Easter Open, then I come back home. And that helped to be able to come back home to that. He was hard on me that time for sure. And I mean, he was a hard, but I remember Ellensburg that year. I was on the bubble, rodeoing. And
same year you win the high school finals, right?
Yeah.
Win the high school finals during Cheyenne, win big at Cheyenne.
That's when I jumped up right there close. I think I was 15th to 17th all that week. But I didn't even know there's a rodeo count. I didn't know there's a rodeo count. I didn't know there was a Spanish Fork, a Nampa, a this or that. I was just entering. I was on my own. My dad didn't know how to enter the new school rodeos. He didn't, it was me. And I had no idea. People were like, how's your rodeo count looking at the end of the season? I said, huh? There's I'm coming down. I'm 16th in the world right here. I said, there's a rodeo count. I've been officialing Goliad, Waxahachie, all these rodeos. I still don't know what my rodeo count was that year, but I made the finals. But we was there in Ellensburg. That was a big, strict moment right there. And I was last out in the slack and was 7-4, won the round. And, at Ellensburg, you kind of got to see some Corey Ennis and that black. He didn't give me much. I let my rope out a little more and just practice pin instincts. Like I said, growing up with my dad, rope him right here. That's how it was all year long for me on that horse. I mean, we made do. And that's when I showed people, it don't matter what you're riding. I can win on anything.
You keep talking about your dad just as your coach. We talked with Roy, we talked with Joe, we talked with all these guys, and there's all these Sylvester stories. They say, what are some stories about him in his prime that maybe no one knows about that's like pretty wild?
Man, there's a lot of stories about my dad. Probably one of the coolest stories I've ever heard is PG. The year he won Calgary, he didn't think he made the Final Four. So he hopped in his rental car and took off. And they called him like, Silver, you made the Final Four. He's like, what? Oh, shoot, I better turn it around. And showed up right as Kev Roba started, hopped on a horse and won Calgary that year. And didn't make it back with any money left.
Didn't make it
back to America with any money left. But that was one of the coolest stories.
I've heard that. That's a good one.
I think I'm missing some stuff out of it, but sure enough, that Final Four round, it comes right back. He was gone. He was miles down the road. He didn't think he made it back.
That
Dude,
is funny.
I love watching the video that goes viral about when he freaking ropes his calf and he steps off and then he beats the calf down the rope. I mean,
At Fort Worth.
yes.
Hanging the stirrup, Silver. God dang. Man, he was wild. I've still probably only ever seen 10 runs of my dad because he, they didn't have all the videos and stuff back then. I've seen a couple old NFR tapes, a couple at Fort Worth, a couple, Mo Bettis, but just all the other runs that I know of him was from what other people told me. And, I heard people say Roy was the greatest, this and that, but people don't realize is my dad was Roy's competition right then. It was my dad and Roy. My dad just ain't had all the back numbers and the, gold buckles because he is distracted. I don't think he just wanted to do it all that much, but him and Roy match roped in Melrose, New Mexico. I think they're 15 or 16 years old, and my dad beat him. That's when they were both coming up, the new up and comer guys. They matched 4 times. They both won twice, but like you could ask Roy. Roy knows like my dad was the guy he had to beat.
That's who they talk. Man, Roy. That's what all he wanted to talk about was matching silver. Man, I mean, he loved it. So what did he was? I mean, did he just when you're practicing and you're blasting, did he say, "Hey, man, that ain't gonna work"? Like, how did you when did you realize, hey, I'm Shad Money Mayfield? Like, when did that happen?
Man, I never had the confidence in myself, I felt like, until 2020. And my dad, he wasn't very straightforward person. He was straightforward, but in a different type of way. Like, I've gone on rope with Fred. I've gone on rope with Joe. They'll kind of break it down to you. And my dad, he wouldn't really break it down. He'd just tell you you're doing it wrong.
He would. For elite people, they can't coach very well. Michael Jordan can't. That's why he don't coach.
Yeah, exactly. And I can't coach. Kids come rope with me. I can't do it. I'm just telling you, like, I can't do it. I can't break it down. Like
just do it like me. I'm gonna go rope one and just do that.
Yeah, that's
like Caleb Smith.
Yeah, we did a school the other day. I said, here, okay, watch this. Like that. Like that's what my dad would do too. Like we'd be tying down the post and he couldn't break it down to you, but he'd sit there and do it. And that's when I watch it and kind of see what he means. And that's, he'd rope and say like, here's what you got to do. He couldn't break it down like that. So, when guys break it down to me nowadays, I'm still kind of like, man, just tell me I'm doing it wrong. I know at this point what to fix. And, that's how it was in the practice pen. If I was tracking too far, that's your problem. If I mess up on the ground, still tracking too far, that's your problem. If you rope them up here, you could mess up down there and still be 6.
That's what you do a lot, so it paid off all that time.
Tyson Durfee stopped by his house on the way to Logandale. He said, man, I had a good talk with your dad.
This year?
Yeah, just
the
last
other
week.
day?
Yeah, last week. He said, I showed your dad some videos, my runs at San Angelo. Tyson was good on his first one at San Angelo, got kicked in the second round. And Tyson was like, yeah, I thought I set things up. I tracked 2 swings over him, set my run up, and just got kicked. And he said, your dad said I needed to throw it faster. If I'd have thrown it faster, I could have got kicked and still been 8. I said, oh, yeah, Tyson. I said, he ain't lying. And I showed him some more videos, and he's still saying, throw it faster. He's like, I'm not sad. I can't do it. He said, you still got to throw it faster. That's how he was.
It's hard to train a 42-year-old, though.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah,
it's a good thing he got you when you were 12.
He got me young.
How hard is it, though? I mean,
if you miss it, if Ty Harris misses the NFR and I'm like, I'm going to go over to this guy's house, man, show me how to make it. He starts telling me, just throw it. Well, he ain't been training me since I was 12 like he did you. I ain't saying it's just going to work.
It ain't going to catch on like that.
I mean, I joke with you all the time. I'm like 2 swings, and if it's the third one, I'm turning my camera off. Like, I'm stopping recording. But, like, is it that hard to throw it that fast? I mean, why is
not
it?
For me.
Well, what?
Used to doing it and just, it's a breakaway loop. I got a great breakaway loop. And I've changed my swing, my roping, everything has changed so much, I think, from 2019 and 20 to now. People could see that. I used to kind of be sidearm like my dad, and I learned to kind of get up more. Just a lot of things have changed with my roping, and, it's because I got good horsepower. I'd never rode a good horse until I got Rampage. That was the first good horse I felt like I ever kind of owned. And so I had to change my whole roping, I felt like, because I got used riding these dinks that couldn't run. So I'm just over here to the side, like, the horse is still back here, and I'm up here. Like, the horse can't even keep up with me. But I'm over here on the side, like, trying to rope. Cody O would hate that swing. but I made it work. I didn't have no choice, but I made it work. You know, my whole 2019 season, come on 2020, I had a horse that could run more, but I mean, he was an okay horse. He wasn't what I have now. He allowed me to get out the barrier and set my runs up every time. So, like I said, I felt like my roping had changed a lot from kind of when I got on my own. Like I had to tweak some things, and that was without my dad. I mean, we're hard headed. We don't really get along some days. Some days we do, some days we don't. So, that was kind of, from when I got on my own, not with the help of nobody, I kind of just seen things. I'd pick things up from watching Fred, watching Cody, watching Trevor, watching everybody, and just kind of putting it into my own style. And now I got what I got now.
We're going to take a quick break from the podcast, tell you about the presenting sponsor, Boot Barn.
Look how sharp my guy's looking from head to gosh darn toe. Boot Barn has him covered. He went from looking like Joe Blow to damn Elvis Presley.
Hey, I'll take that. Over 450 store locations. They sponsor over 600 rodeos a year. When you think of rodeo, you think of Boot Barn.
Cole, I don't know about you, but when I open my phone, I see the biggest pop artists in the country wearing a cowboy hat and boots and jeans. You as well can go get the best jeans, shirts, hats, caps, boots, shades at Boot Barn.
I don't care if you dress like Ty, me, or anything in between. Boot Barn's got everything you could possibly need. Oh! That was kind of hit, huh? That kind of hit.
Great. Thanks as always to Boot Barn for sponsoring the podcast. Let's get back to the episode. So you said a lot changed in 2020. I'm thinking back to San Antonio. You win first. Was that your first big win right there that year?
San Antonio was my first big win. Yep.
And I mean, what was going through your mind right there, leading into the American and everything? I mean, kind of walk us through that.
Yeah, that year was crazy, man. I think I won second at Denver. I think I won Odessa that year. Come to San Antonio, won San Antonio. I was young. I didn't have the confidence in myself. I didn't figure myself out yet. I'm just thinking, I'm just a guy with all these other guys. Shane Hainsey's dominating. Then we haven't stepped up in that moment yet. We're in the same
100%.
And I was just kind of there. I went San Antonio. I'm kind of like, man, lucky guy. I scored good, wrote good. That was good. But I'm still figuring out like, okay, I ain't bad. I go to Kansas City to the WCRA. I won Kansas City, 100,000 roping against Marty. He won second. Bunch of other tough guys. That's back when the WCRA was really tough. Best guys were going. And then I'm driving home. I'm by myself all this time. It's just me and my dog, man. I'm just vibing, just living. And go to the American semifinals, win the American semifinals. I'm just like, holy crap. You're like, what's going on? I haven't missed a calf all winter.
Look at all this money right in my pocket.
Yeah. I haven't missed a calf all winter. I haven't broke a barrier. I just won a lot of money. I go home, take it to the bank. I'm so excited. I just buy a new trailer. I'm pumped. So then I go get ready for the American, roping for 600,000. I'm kind of like, man, I'm still not that guy yet. I'm not gonna, it's just in the back of my head. Like I knew I was there. I knew I had a chance for it, but I knew I was on a hot streak, but I just still didn't feel like I was that guy until I won the American. And I'm like, holy crap, dude, you're kind of making a name for yourself right here. And then season shut down, COVID hit, that was it. And it was like, dang, what could have really happened that year? Cause I was on it. I mean, I felt so good roping mentally, physically, everything. I was on it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, people say stupid shit all the time, but how much would you have won over the next 100 days, 150 days with the momentum you had, with the confidence you had, with the way you were roping if the rodeos kept going on? I mean, you went in with what was it, an $80,000 lead to that finals? $90,000 lead, but how much more would you have gotten ahead if the rodeos didn't get canceled?
I mean, things were going my way. I was at Houston. I'd run 2 calves at Houston. I already advanced to the semifinals off 2 calves at Houston. I mean, I was on fire already at Houston, first time at Houston. And before the third round, that's when everything shut down. But that's just what we'll never know is what could have made of that season. But, someone said that year didn't count to win the world, but they don't realize what I had done, You know, it's not won over 10 days. It's won over the 365 days, the all-night drives, the struggles, the sicknesses, the pain. That's where a world championship's won. It's not won over 10 nights. It's won over 365 days, and all 365 days, I guarantee you no one was working as hard as I was at it. I was by myself all year, driving myself, had no driver. People say, oh, you got drivers now. It must be hard to drive yourself. I said, man, don't start with me. I did this by myself for all of 2020. I mean, everywhere. I said, it don't bother me. I said, I just know I got that grit in me that I could do this, and I know what I want. I want to win world championships.
How much money did you win that 2020 gold buckle by?
Yeah, 2,000, I think. Not much.
You're right. 365-day season.
Yeah.
You slack off one rodeo in January, February.
Or we started back in, we started back in June.
October.
We started back in May, June right there.
Yeah, we started late.
May, June, July, August, September, all that money counted, I mean.
Yeah, I mean, we all went back to Rodeo, and I had a horrible finals that year. I switched everything up, rode Rampage. He was green. I was riding a green horse in a big building. I didn't go in there. I had a horrible finals. But it happens, I've seen the best have bad finals. It's here's the deal. I mean, I've been to 6 NFRs, so what? I haven't just dominated a finals. But that's the thing, is people see how I am during the season, see my capability, see how I can rope. They expect me to win every single go round. That's what people expect. So they're making this of me because I could go out there. I still feel like I have, they're not great finals that I should be having, but I'm not just out there just throwing it away. I still won 100,000 of the past 2 NFRs. I'm thankful the opportunity to even get to go. I leave the finals, hungry for another season. But like I said, I've been to 6 NFRs. What do I have left? 10, 14, 15 more? What are we to expect in the next 10, 14 more? I mean, I've still got more finals to go to than I've been at. So, I could still have way more better finals going forward than I have in the past. Then what are people going to say? So that's just how I see it.
You said everybody expects you to win every freaking go round. That's what you expect of yourself, I'm sure.
Yep. It's just like you expect of yourself to go out there and dominate. Everybody expects themselves to do great, but it's not going to happen. We go all year long. You go through some spells in the summer. You go to Cody, Wyoming, you could draw a bad calf, not do no good, but it's a clean slate at the next rodeo. At the NFR, it's not a clean slate. You have bad calf in round 1, 2, whatever round it is. Like, it's not a clean slate, and that's just what people see. I mean, it takes one time for things to tap off. It takes 1 year drawing good calves, just things going right. It's going to come. I mean, it's not like me or you, Ty, are done making the NFR. I mean, we'll be back, consistently, surely, for years to come. I mean, it just takes one time for stuff to tap off. I mean, just like, your summers, when you tap it off over the 4th of July, after that one good run, you're tapped off.
Mm.
And I feel like it starts with the first round at the NFR. If you could get that first round going, things roll from then on. And I've never really got a first round tapped off. Past 2 years, I've bobbled 23, missed strong kept, win the round. Last year, missed my Hui to win second in a round. And I felt like after then, you kind of get in your head like, money, what do I need to win, this or that? And then even when you're drawing bad, it's like, you're still thinking in your head, well, I need to win. I need to do this or that. And last year, I already know I didn't draw good. I'd say here, plain simple. I felt like I was mentally great, but once I kind of just went to drawing bad, and I'd look at the draw and send it to Fred. Man, crap, I got another. I just got to kind of stay in the average, and it kind of got frustrating. Come 9th round, things are getting pressure's coming. I checked the draw. I got the great calf. This is my time. Win a round. Come into the 10th round first. You got your chance right here. And I got from drawing, bad calves from the previous rounds, and finally having a good one. I just got ahead of myself. I'm like, crap, I could be 6'3", I'm going to go. And I missed that calf. And I was bummed. I sat on the Thomas and Mack all night. I mean, I was so mad at myself, but that's just different since the NFR through the regular season is you go draw a bad calf, some rodeo. Next rodeo, you can redeem yourself. At the NFR, you got to wait till the next year.
Mm-hmm. You said it. I mean,
you wrote for the average. what is the pros of man, this is a one header and I'm gonna go out the barrier every night. Do you think if you're going after roping for the average, you're now becoming passive and waiting for it to come and you're like, man, if I place an average and then instead of just going at it every night?
100%, 100%. I feel like it changed from 15 years ago when the greatest of all time were going, as to now. I feel like you gotta place in the average to want to go buckle. Plain and simple. Riley's not gonna mess up. Most consistent dude roping right now. He's not gonna mess up unless things go crazy wrong. He's gonna be in the average. He's gonna get some go rounds. Haven ain't gonna mess up very many. He's gonna be in the average. He's gonna get some go rounds. I mean, you need a rope for go rounds, but you can't take yourself out of the average. You can't eliminate yourself out of that. And that's overcame my head last year, was average, average, average. I finally got my first average check last year. First 5 NFRs, never placing the average. Last year, placing the average. I felt a relief. I felt like, that
I
was
bet.
big. Yeah.
What that
Like,
average check win you?
I was not even that much, 40-some thousand.
Oh, not that much. A world championship.
Yeah, it won me a world championship being in the average, but it felt great just to be able to say I placed in the average at the NFR, because the years before that, I wasn't even top 10 in the average. So just to say that boosted my confidence a lot. And, that place is something crazy. I love it.
I mean,
It's not a nightmare. I love it. It's
but
a
you can
dream.
relate to Shad too. This year was your best NFR you've had, correct? Or your rookie year was really good this year, but
When you always look back and you're like, this one thing goes wrong, this one thing happened, and and then it's kind of a domino effect. But it ain't for me. I mean, I'm not in your shoes, so I'm not telling you what to think. For me, outside looking in, you stayed in the average. You were open for 2 world championships, and you won one of them. You won a world championship off of staying in that average. You tie that calf in 10 flat or 10-1, you don't win it. You go 9-6 and you win it. That's a major accomplishment. I mean,
That 10th round last year was big. Coming into it, I didn't know what to expect. I seen my draw, and I knew I didn't have a calf to go out there and win the round. If I had to go out and win, the round to win the world championship in the calf roping, I'd have had to dug so deep. And at that time, my body was gone. Like, I had nothing left. I had a stress fracture in my spine. I had my hip problems going on. Like, I was freaking drained. I was just ready to be done with it. And seeing the calf I had, I wasn't real confident on that. And kind of the all around was all in Coleman Proctor's hands at that point. But, you're looking at it, he's going for 2 gold buckle. He's going for the, team rope and gold world championship as well, the all around. Is he going to safety up and just go for the all around? Well, you got your healer right here that's got a chance for a gold buckle. If it's me back in the box, I'm not going to safety up. I'm going to do what he did. I'm going to go at it. But it still would have come down to me needing to win a round, I think, if he did do good, whatever. But after seeing the team roping and how it fell, I had a chance right there. I had a big chance. And at the time, I needed to win 4th in the go round to win the all around world championship. We knew that coming into it. Quaid was a little long. I realized I could get past him in the average. Then I just needed to tie my calf in 10-1 to get past him in the average. And that was the most pressure, trying to happen to be 10, then 6'9", leave me to be 7'5", I'll be 7'4", but 10-1, dude, that's a lot. You know it, man. That's a lot over there. And I was late. Dropped the calf's front leg, stuck a wrap in a Hui 9-7. I'm like, I just did,
That's crazy.
And right then, that calf wasn't getting up. He late. And I just, every relief was like, you won the all-around world championship, but still let one get away. But I could have won the calf roping world championship too in that moment. If I'd have won the round, I could have bumped up ahead at Haven in the average. And then it left Riley needing to get a check or high up check, which I seen the calf Riley had. He had the best calf on him. So it was, either gamble, lose 2 gold buckles, or play it smart and win a world championship and all around. Soak that up and then go out here and work harder, because you'll be back for a calf roping world championship.
Well, I didn't know that. So 10th round, if you win the round, Riley, I didn't know you even had a chance.
I could have got ahead of Haven in the average.
Really? I did not know that.
That's
I
what's
could have got
crazy,
it because
man.
Haven was long. He got kicked or something. He was long.
Uh huh.
I could have got ahead of, if I had been 7
Yep.
something, I can't remember what it was. I could have got ahead of Haven in the average. That's another 20,000. Won the round, 50 something thousand right there. And then it come down to Riley. He got a check in the last round, but I think he'd have just had to get a check or something. But it'd come down to
It would have
what's
been down to
Riley.
the wire dollars.
But I had everything in my head. I knew. I said, Riley's got a great calf. He ain't going to mess this calf up. Riley Webb's not going to mess up. So in the back of my head, it's like, you know what you're roping for right here. You messed up the calf rope and gold buckle in round 9. So don't let another mistake ruin the all-around world championship. So I took that and I soaked it up. I said, I already let that one go. I said, I got a chance to do it. Yeah, but it's my own fault. I'm going to have to live with it. I'm going to have to go get this all around, and we'll be back for calf rope, and I promise.
Which in hindsight, you played it. If it went exactly how you thought it was going to, you played safe. You get your 9-6. You win all around. Riley ends up winning a check. So it worked out exactly how you.
It
planned.
worked out. Like I just know. I know my competition. And I know Riley Webb, he's a bad man, and I know he's not going to mess up. I mean, you know it.
Exactly.
He ain't going to mess up, especially when you give him a good calf. That's just what makes him a world champion.
Well, but hey, talk about what you had to do to go get that all around world title, man. I mean, you were putting the time in, going and buying horses, practicing, grinding at the Steer Open. I know that's an event that's not necessarily at the NFR, but it ain't easy to go get 3,000 at any event. There was a lot of us that tried last year because we knew Stetson was hurt. There was a lot of us that tried to go win that 3,000 to just put our name in the hat, and you went and did it. I mean, what did you have to do that?
Yeah, it was when Stetson got hurt, you don't wish that on nobody. Everyone thought he was coming back, about Reno. So I said, had a good season. I'm going to go out here, try to win 3,000 in the Steer Open, see, just put my name up there and all around. We'll see. And, bought me a tripping, first tripping I went to, I jumped on a horse. It was horrible. I'd never tripped before, kind of just starting this event. I said, man, like if I like Steer Open, I'm going to go buy me a horse. I'm going to kind of invest something into this, and I want to kind of go all year. So I went and bought a really, really good tripping horse, and he helped my tripping game step up a lot. And we went to a lot of trippings. I was driving everywhere, Kansas, Oklahoma. When guys were at all these calf opens, I was driving to these Steer Opens, and I didn't win nothing for a while. I mean, I was trying to learn, learning a new event, going out there, like roping against the pros. It's not easy. And I finally won my first check at Coleman, Texas, placing around. I was so pumped. It was like $1,200. But the thing is, you got to win 3,000 in one event. And then walked up, replaced at Clovis, New Mexico, my hometown, in the team roping, placed in the team roping over there, won 1,100, and went to another tripping. And I started picking up checks tripping, went to Prineville, Oregon, and placed over there in the tripping. And that's when I bumped over the 3,000 mark, and I was pumped. But I didn't stop going. I mean, we team roped. We placed at Pecos in the team roping. I placed at Pecos in the team roping, tripping, and calf roping. And that's when I was like, oh, you are a little all-around cowboy, But I won more than 3,000 in it. But, coming down to Puyallup, after I won Puyallup, I was supposed to have a huge lead in the all-around, like 80, 90,000. Like, nobody was going to catch me. But I didn't realize there was an all-around rodeo count. And when somebody at calfroping.com called or something, and they were like, we're trying to get everyone's all-around rodeo count. I said, huh? My calf roping count, I'm here. I said, no, all around 70 in just one event. I'm like, oh, man. So Puyallup didn't count. 20,000 there. Sioux Falls didn't count. 40,000 there. I had $60,000 in the all around that didn't count towards the stands because I didn't know that there was all around count. So there was all the rodeos I went to, the small rodeos. When I entered them, I should have entered as all around unofficial. The $500 added rodeo, I should have entered as 500 or as all around unofficial.
So you're saying you won Puyallup, you won money Puyallup in the Governor's Cup in the calf roping, but that didn't contribute at all.
It should have contributed, but it didn't because I didn't realize there was a count, and it cut off at 70. But the calf roping count is 80, and the all around count 70. So once I hit 70 calf ropings, that was it. I won Abilene, I won Stephenville, I won Puyallup, I won Sioux Falls, Amarillo. None of that counted.
I said you probably won the all around. I was saying earlier you probably won the all around just one calf open in the middle of the year, but actually the fact that you kept you kept team roping and tripping after you already qualified, really all around came down
Probably
to
came down
one
to
of
that,
those small
honestly.
checks.
Yeah. It was because I won like I think 10 or 12,000 total in tripping and team roping. Then that
And I didn't
that
even
come
know.
in
It
that
could have
money.
came down to the west of the Pecos over
Yeah.
here.
Yeah, exactly.
Even Junior though, Junior had a chance. I mean,
Yeah,
this was one of the closest all around races that we've had in years
it was exciting.
for rodeo, bro.
Stetson, quit being so good. It'll be way more exciting. Only be a
Right?
bull rider, so he'll be having an all around
Stick to
race.
one event, dude. Come on. But yeah, there was me, Junior, and Coleman all going for a giving to buckle.
Yeah.
Man,
I was just
I'll just say it straight up, man. I've worked my entire life to make the national finals and to hopefully maybe dream of roping and competing for a world championship. There ain't none of the things that are given, you know. I mean, that's just playing up facts straight up. No, there's not a world championship that's given. Period. I mean, there's not a back number that's really given. I don't care if you were 44th in the world last year, then you go to Houston this year and you win it, and he got lucky, he made the national finals. You don't get lucky, man. That's your whole life that you put into this to win Houston, to make your NFR and to get your back number, man. I mean, I don't know. I don't like that about rodeo, that people think that it's luck in this, and it's just honestly sports. The bubble championship for the Lakers, man. You freaking worked your whole life. We worked our whole life to do this.
It's like that for everybody. And if you're that guy, then people are going to talk about you. I mean, that means you're doing something right. Like Tom Brady, the year he won the Super Bowl, deflated balls. I mean, Tom Brady is the greatest Super Bowl or greatest quarterback ever. Of course, people are going to throw that out there. You think he cares? No, he knows. He knows he earned it. And just like me, I know I earned the gold buckles. You know, have I not been, questioned about it? I have, COVID year.
You question it more in your head probably than anything else.
Yeah, but then I look back as a kid, all the work I put in, all the effort, all the pain, all the going to rodeos, having to win to pay not just my bills, but to keep everybody in my house going. The lights on for everybody. I earned them. I guarantee it, I earned them.
That's good.
Because of my rookie year, I rodeoed. The only pay that was coming into our house between my mom, my dad, my sister, and me, my mom's was a substitute school teacher. She got paid here and there. It's not big. My sister was going to school. My dad took off everything to go rodeo with me. He wasn't having no income. We had a great bank back home, Bank of Clovis. They said, listen, y'all go off and rodeo. We'll hold your bills for a few months while y'all rodeo. You don't have no bills. Thank you. You know how much weight that is on an 18-year-old kid? Like, that was a lot, But, like, I still have to pay. I still have to go win so I could, we could keep hay going at the house for the horses or keep groceries at the house for my mom or this or that. Like, that was the weight and pressure I was under as an 18-year-old kid. And I went out there and now today I could say I did it. And it wasn't given. I earned it. I know it.
It's truth, man. So, what's next? You gonna keep tripping?
Done tripping.
Done. Selling your horse?
Sold my horse, man.
To who?
My buddy Cass bought my horse, but I still be able to ride him anytime, man. This year, I realized, I had to sit back and say, I love tripping. I really do. I just told myself at the start of the year, I want to make the tripping finals. My grandpa was a big tripping fan, and to honor his legacy, I really wanted to do it. But I come to the conclusion, look who's number one in the world right now. He doesn't have any other. What Justin Moss say?
Your priority needs to be a world championship.
He doesn't have nothing else going on besides what's going on. And that's when I realized, man, I'm not Trevor Brazile. That's one of a kind guy. I can't do all this. I said, it's hard to balance all this type of stuff. I said, I know what my goal is. I got the all around buckle. that's great, but I know what I want, and that's as many calf rope and gold buckles as I get. So I will sacrifice the steer rope and the team rope and everything because I want my focus strictly on calf roping. And, that was big listening to Justin Moss saying about, you have to prioritize one thing to get a gold buckle is, he's right. And with me is I've always get distracted by other things. I build places, I do real estate, all this stuff. And it's like, man, I want to back off from all that. I know what my focus needs to be is calf roping. What do you want to do? I want to get as many gold buckles. I don't want to be 40 years old looking back saying, I wish I'd have just focused on one thing. I got to that point, and it happened, kind of around Houston. That's when I kind of realized I needed to quit tripping. And I said, I'm going to have to back off on a lot of things and just focus. I know where my main focus needs to be.
I mean, yeah, some people are one track minded and that's what they need to do. And some people that's why I think Ty is a little bit different in that sense. I think when he is multifaceted tracked, I think he operates better because it alleviates some of your stress, but some people, I don't know. It's
Ty, Shad, Riley, Haven, freaking Hanchy, Marty, whatever it is, Trevor Brazil, everybody's different. You just got to figure out what freaking makes you
works
tick.
for you, dude.
How you're going to be your best every day.
Yeah. But I know. I mean, I see it. I mean, you have to be so into something to get it all out of it.
Yep.
And for me, it's winning gold buckles. I mean, I don't settle for second place. That hurts. I don't like winning second place. I don't like being told you're the second best roper in the world. I hate all that. I'm so competitive and I'm confident in myself. I used to not be confident in myself until, kind of as the older I've gotten, the more wins I've gotten like this or that, I've really got a lot of confidence in myself. And you can see it in my roping. I think from 2023 on, it's like just my attitude, everything changed. Everybody has that, okay, he's confident in himself, but, deep down, we all know you got them insecurities about yourself. Once I took all them away, and I don't care what this couch person says about me or this couch person says about me or this couch person says about me, I know deep down what I am and what I can do. And I know, I just know.
I mean, we sat down with Cody Ole. I mean, you're talking about a couch person. I mean, he's one of the greatest to ever do it. I mean, we got the honor of talking to him, but I mean, on that pod, he did say certain things about Shad Mayfield, and how is it from people you've idolized growing up as a kid and then they critique your game? I mean, that can't be easy,
That hurt. At first, that hurt. I remember being that kid in the living room, sitting on my stick horse watching Cody O rope. That was my hero, man. That was the guy I looked up to, coming up. If it wasn't for Cody O, I wouldn't have the desire of doing what I do, because seeing Cody, Fred, Joe, all this stuff, sitting in the living room for every kid competing at the NFR now, we all sat in the living room. We all watched one person on TV, and that was our guy. Cody O was my guy. I was at San Angelo roping fiesta. I was roping the ultimate roping and the numbered ropings. I think I was probably 14 years old. My dad took me to the roping fiesta over there, and it was packed. Back when cars lined up. I think Cody and Tough was matching, and that's the first time I ever got to see Cody in person. And I'm just in awe over there. That's my hero. That's the guy. And when he said that about me, that hurt. That did hurt for a minute, but I called him Rich. I said, man, you see? He said, man, just blow it off and just, go think about it and see tomorrow. I posted some on Instagram. I said, give in to me or something. But, I went to church the next day, Sunday. I went to church, I had to really think about some things. And that's the thing is when I found God more within myself, I found a lot of relief. I found that it doesn't matter what people think about you. If you got God and know what he thinks about you, then that helps. Then at the end of the day, a couple of days later, I said, man, you're gonna have to block that out. The only reason why he's talking about you is because you're great. That's the only reason. If you're not great, he ain't gonna say nothing about you, period. And that's what it took me to realize. And I watched it over and over again. I watched the podcast probably more than anybody. I watched all the parts where Cody talked
Thanks for the
about me.
views, partner.
For sure. I had some views on that one. All the parts where Cody watched or talked about me, I watched repeatedly and said and kind of smirked. You know, at first I was down on myself. I was like, man, that sucks. Guy you looked up to, now he's down on you. But turned around, it was like, man, 2 years ago, Cody was texting me, talking to me how he is about Riley now. But some stuff happened, and he could tell the world someday about that. And we haven't seen eye to eye since. So now he thinks he can make himself feel better about downing me, but it don't matter, man. Like, we're talking about Cody O right now because he's one of the greatest. He wouldn't be talking about me if he knew I wasn't going to be one of the greatest. Simple as that.
That's a bar. I mean, that's as good as it gets.
It is. I mean, that's how I see it. I mean, he named his guys, and just the fact that he brought my name up, I'm like, man, that's crazy. Who would have thought that kid watching this guy on TV or San Angelo, now he's talking about me. Whether it's good or bad, it don't matter.
I'm telling you.
He's talking about me. I mean, I'm doing something right. Stephen A. Smith on ESPN Sports Center, he's talking about LeBron, man. Down in LeBron. Think LeBron cares? Nah, man. LeBron knows what he is. And Stephen A. talking about LeBron because LeBron doing something right. So I'm doing something right. And I'll continue to do it. And you continue to talk down on me, but it's not going to hurt me.
I've said it before. I'll say it again. Silver wasn't no dummy. He knew his strengths. He knew his weaknesses. He bred a winner.
He bred it, man.
Nothing but respect for the man, but he bred a freaking stout. He had all the speed, and then you put in the size.
And Fred was like that. Fred, I think,
big,
I mean,
fast,
I'll sit here and say, I feel like Fred is the GOAT of roping, period. I mean, outside everywhere. And Cody O is the GOAT in the Thomas and Mack. I'll say it. Cody, there's never been no one's left a mark that Cody has in the Thomas and Mack. He did that. He's great. But what you see, Cody's had nightmare NFRs. He has. But we see he's had more good NFRs than bad NFRs, but he's been to a lot of them. But Fred was great too. I mean, outside, I was watching some old videos of Fred, man. That guy was insane. He got athletic abilities. I mean, his hands are that long. I mean, he could freaking cross over there and rope a calf wherever. I mean, it's freaking unbelievable.
And get to the horn and make a horse work that doesn't work with other guys. I mean, I'm not saying a donkey, no disrespect to any horse, but make a horse work that he doesn't usually work, reach, get to the horn, set up a go, flank a calf, and make him take it that usually kicks.
And it helps because how he is built, how he's athletic. The athletic abilities could do that, you know. And there's great ropers for sure, but they're just not athletic or got the abilities that like Fred did to do some of the stuff that he did with his roping. And that's why he's one of the greatest to ever do it. I mean, it's just like, you know, LeBron, like his body is different. It allows him to be as old as he is and still go. I mean, his body's different.
Yeah, I mean, eight of them gold ones. You got scrapped and clawed, and you've got 2 so far, and you're young. I mean, just think, how hard of a career and how devoted you got to be for 20 years to get 8 gold buckles, almost 50% of the time, you know. I mean, that Fred he's goated, bro. I mean, he's that guy. He really is.
He's that guy. And I mean, he's just the runs you could see in the summertime at like places like Ellensburg or Reno, just going and getting them, seeing that type of Fred, man, it's insane. I mean, them two guys.
That's what's the damn shame with no Cowboy Channel, not the video footage that there was back then. We watched, and I asked Cody when he was sitting right there. I said, "Man, how famous would you have been, and Fred would have been, and Roy would have been if there was rodeo footage of you running 120 of them a year? We got to watch 15 a year."
And like, that's what I'm trying to do now with my social media and YouTube. And Cole, you started all this stuff with Ty. I mean, dude. I mean, you think about it. My dad, I like I said, I've only ever seen 10 runs. I've never seen how he was behind closed doors. I've never seen any of this. My kids one day will be able to go watch my old YouTube videos and see who their dad was, how he was. You know, people sit there, the couch people, oh, he needs to get off social media and he beat so-and-so. I'm like, man, I don't care. I said, I'm doing this because 20, 30, 40 years from now, we go back and see everything from my career. All of it. We'll have it documented. That's what I want with all this. And y'all started it the best with what you did for Ty. I mean, it opened a lot of eyes, man. We want to see that. And if they had that back in the day, imagine them Fred, Cody, Joe B, Trevor, man, they'd be billionaires.
World renowned, Bill. Yeah. I mean, what I want to know, Fred is taking you under his wing the last few years. What are some things that you have picking up from Fred that you didn't have before?
Mental game. I got the mental from Fred. Fred I already knew how to rope. I mean, he knew that. And when I called him 2023 that summer, he said, if you listen to me, I could help you. And just, I'd send him my runs here and there. He'd tell me what to do. And I'm like, man, I already know how to rope. It was one of the moments before I found out about my hips. I'm going through a slump. I need to go practice. Nothing was ever changing. But whenever I really got around Fred and just listened to the way he talks about himself and what he's done and who he really is and the confidence he has in himself, I'm like, man, this guy's got 8 gold buckles and like he knows it, like he feels it,
He's a killer, dude.
Yeah, he knows it. Like when in my head, am I going to realize like you're going to have to get confident in yourself and that mental side of you to be able to get that. We were in Vegas, he went out to the NFR with me in 2023 and then 2024 as well. And we went to the Kid Rock kind of rodeo opening party, and Fred was just up there with all of them. He had his NFR rings, his gold buckle, and he's just showing it off, man. And Derek Wolf used to play for the Broncos, man. I looked up for him. He's got a Super Bowl ring on his finger. And Fred walks, hold up, man, let me see that ring right there. Take it off. Pulls his buckle off. I got a picture of it. He's got his all-around gold buckle right here, and then the guy's ring right here. He said, not bad. He said, that's real gold, though. Like, he's so confident in that buckle that he had. And just, I'm sitting back here seeing this. I'm like, man, this guy, he's so confident in himself. Like, ain't nobody could beat anybody that's so confident in themselves. It's just not going to happen. You could back up against anybody, just like San Angelo tonight with me and Marty. I'm so dang confident in myself, man. I know nobody can beat me. I'm not saying that in a cocky way, just in my head. So what? Someone could beat me no matter what. But in my head, like if I know I'm the best, then you're going to go out there and be your best every single time. And that's what I got from being with Fred. And Fred, I mean, he's got an arrogant way about it sometimes. You got to put up with it. But, you got to respect the guy for what he's done. And, I respect him for what he's helped me with my mental game and having that confidence in myself. I mean, like I said, who you hang around is a reflection of who you'll be.
If you don't think you're going to win when you freaking back in there, when you're about to nod that head, if you don't think you're going to win, if you're not cocky about your ability, my ability, whatever it is, if I don't think I'm about to win, what are we doing, man?
I mean, exactly. I mean, I've been called cocky so many times. But I don't care. It's like, I know I'm not cocky because I know I respect everything. I know I'm grateful for what I have, the abilities from God. I'm grateful for all that. But at the same time, in my head, I have to know that I can do it. And you know what I mean?
I mean, Cody said he learned it from Fred that year when he rolled up to the slack and Fred,
man,
what up?
Dude, the stories of Fred and Cody back in the day, I was talking to Tony Reyna at a steer open the other day, and he said he rodeoed with Cody one year, and I think they went out to California, went out to Red Bluff, and Cody was on a hot streak, winning a lot of rodeos, and Fred was going around saying it was luck. They're just chirping at each other, that lucky SOB, this and that. And Tony said, this Cody steps out the trailer with a yellow jacket, had Smith Brothers on the back. I mean, bright yellow. Had the number 13 embroidered right here. Had a black cat with the red nose embroidered right there. And Tony said, what are you doing, Cody? What are you doing with all that? He said, I'm going to show this Fred. Ain't nothing about this luck. Walked up to Slack. Fred, ain't nothing about this luck. I mean, that's a cool freaking story, man. That gives me goosebumps. I'm like, man, that's badass right there. That is, I mean, he's got every bit of bad luck. Yellow 13, a black cat on him, and he's going to go up, in front of Fred and say, ain't nothing about this luck. In today's generation, dude, people
Don't do that.
they don't do that.
No.
And it's
We've had a lot of comments, a lot of stuff got said after Cody said what he said about them two walking up to the slack. But I don't care who you are. If you imagine Cody and Fred walking up there to the slack together, the boy's about to win. Period.
No.
I don't care if it's in 1964 or in 2024.
It is. I mean, they were great. I mean, for sure. They battled it out with each other. I wasn't a guy on the fence. I don't know everything, but just sitting here hearing all the stories and stuff, like they were the guys. And just hearing that of Cody doing that, that's insane, dude. That is insane. That's badass.
This is good for rodeo. At least good for my videos.
Yeah,
I mean, it makes my life better.
Fred and Cody rodeoed together some too, so like they fed off of each other. Riley's rookie year, he rodeoed with me in the Northwest, and dude, we won first and second everywhere. We were on a hot streak. I had the finals made. That was the first year I broke the single season earnings record. Riley was on the bubble of making the finals. He gets in with me, and just us and going back and forth, like it felt like we were just roping against each other at every rodeo, but we were supporting each other. Like it was so cool. We went to Canby, won first and second. Somewhere else, first and second. I mean, a lot of the places we went, like it felt like we were roping against ourselves, but we were just fueling off of each other, learning off of each other. And that was a cool season to be able to rodeo with Riley for sure.
So what are you saying?
That's what it's all about, is what I think. I mean, Cody and Fred going together, Riley and Shad going together, Riley's rookie year. Larry Bird and freaking Magic Johnson wasn't pulling up in the same bus. There's nothing like what we do. Like, I don't care if we're talking tennis, on golf, whatever, or maybe a little bit in golf, maybe. But in the rodeo, Tyler Wagaspack and Will Loomis stand in the box for each other. You know what I'm saying? I mean, there's nothing like what we do, man. I mean,
yeah. And are you saying are there parallels? Cody and Fred, Riley and Shad?
I know there is. I know it.
The reincarnation, baby.
I just do. I mean, me and Riley battle it out a lot. I remember at the Fort Worth short round, and I'm not taking nothing away from nobody else. This is how I am. Riley made the short round. I made the short round.
calfroping.com.
Yeah. And man, all night, only thing in my head was you got to beat Riley to win Fort Worth. Like, that's just how I was thinking. I feel like Riley's the guy right now. He's back-to-back gold buckles. Like, he's the guy. And I know I could beat him. And it's in some scenarios, And so that's just the only thing in my head. You got to beat Riley to win Fort Worth. And once I got the draw, I was waiting all day. Let me get the draw. Let me see who ropes first. I kind of, who ropes first? I don't really matter, but just kind of see, do I need to come set the pace to see, what's the thing? And that's the only thing I was watching is what Riley did. Once Riley went, he was 7'8", he's 8 something maybe. I don't remember what he was. He made a good run, jerked his calf down, had to get her up. That's when I knew I won Fort Worth. I said, I could beat Riley right here. He had a couple bobbles, I'll beat Riley. And I won Fort Worth. And that's just how my mind is. And I know he's the same looking at me. I mean, we might have to ask him, never know, but like, that's just how I am. And like I said, when he won Houston and got that big jump, like, I'm sitting on my couch. I'm like, man, like, I got to go. I got to get some stuff rolling. I won St. Angelo now. I'm calculating in my head, like, I got, this amount of money to catch him. Like, that's the only thing on my mind. That's just me.
I promise you, if there's a year where it's Riley, Shad at the National Finals Rodeo for a tie-down roping world championship, it's going to be, I'm not saying the word reincarnated, but it will be so alive in that Thomas and Mack, and people will have so much more respect for calf roping than they have had for the last however many years. I don't know why that is. I don't know why they wouldn't have respected Caleb for what he did over those 10 years and even Tough Cooper and stuff, but a rivalry creates so much attention. I mean, if there's a rivalry out there in that arena, 17,000 people, it's alive, man.
I'm telling you,
makes your job easy.
It's just for the crowd. Yeah, for the crowd. I mean, that's what people want to see. Whether it's football, basketball, golf, whatever, they want to see the rivalries. That's what brings out. And I'm not taking, like, Caleb dominated, but he wasn't roping against nobody like that. Tough, he was kind of in his own era. But this new era of, like, me, you, Haven, Riley, like, it's kind of brought that back into calf roping. Mm-hmm. And, like, I feel like it's been exciting to watch at Thomas and Mack where people are ready to turn on the calf roping, you know what I mean? And I felt like we have brought that back. There for a while, it was just there. It was just an event. But bringing us, this new generation in, it's been exciting to watch. Like, I really enjoy it. The young kids coming up, Dylan Hancock, Cole, I mean, just so many more to name that it's going to be exciting for sure.
It's good to watch and good to look up at them stands at the Thomas and Mack and see the stands full when the calf roping's going on.
For sure.
First time we were there, people are going to get popcorn during
Yeah,
calf
they didn't
roping.
care.
Period.
They'd leave because it's calf roping, barrel racing, bull riding. I mean,
They was
they
headed
might
out.
hang around for the barrel racing, but they're gonna, and for calf roping, it got brought back. And I felt like that jump of when Haven was 6'4" and I was 6'1", they did calf roping. Whether that calf got up or not, I still hear people talk about that to this day.
You tied the arena record from Cody Old with 6'5".
Yeah, we tied it at 6'5".
That's so
Was that
crazy.
in 22?
20. That was 22.
That was in
23.
22.
Haven was
On
6'4".
platinum in
Yep.
22.
Haven was 6'4". I was 6'1", 23. Nothing really close to it in 24.
Yeah.
It's crazy. You ask some people, they saying Haven broke Cody's record. They don't really mention Shad's record too.
Yeah.
It's weird how that is. I don't know I just don't know why that is.
I don't. I mean, it's just, I felt like because it was way farther than it held for so long.
Yeah,
It's
they're
just
like-
a more memorable
Yeah.
record. Cody and Trevor being 6'5", it held on for a long time.
Yeah.
Did you even know Trevor was 6'5"?
I didn't even know that
Yeah,
either.
yeah. Trevor was 6'5" too. It was Trevor and Cody.
And they
me
don't
at
talk about
6'5".
it. Trevor's Shad's record. It was just
Yeah,
Cody's.
It
that's-
held on for so long. That's why. And Cody started the record. Then Trevor came, some years later, did the record.
Yeah.
And then, way later, I come and tied the record. And then Haven breaks it. That's crazy. But, sitting back and that boosted my confidence, dude. Being 6'1", that didn't break the arena record. That shattered it.
Did the calf get up? Looking back at your tie on the Cowboy Channel,
The calf got up. The ground was freaking rumbling.
that's what I was saying. I'm
The
like,
ground
did you
was-
put a good hooey on it?
I felt like I suck at rapping hooies, and that was one of my better ones. I guarantee it. And that calf tried it for a minute. It wasn't like she just poked out. I mean, and then got up. But not very many calves are going to sit there. And that wasn't a 6-second calf to go into the round with. That was not a 6-second calf. Haven had the calf. I had that calf. I think I tied that calf in 6'9", won a round on the calf Haven had. That was the calf. I come back behind him. I'm like, man, this ain't a 6-second calf, but if Haven can be 6, dude, you're going to have to freaking do it. And that calf didn't have a good track record, didn't. And I maxed that calf out at 6'1". And that is the, athletic ability that I could do right there. And I know it. I mean, when things get rocked on like that, dude, that shattered the records.
That would have been there forever.
Yeah.
I don't know if that ever would have been broken, honestly.
I don't know if I'll be able to do it again. I mean,
You don't think
things
you
have
can?
got to be, everything just went right, dude. I mean, just the way I got off the barrier, as soon as the neck rope popped off the calf, I got it on him. I mean, there wasn't a mistake, anything on the ground for air. I mean, hit the calf flank,
Yep.
string him before he hits the ground, wrapping a hooey. Everything was perfect. 6'1".
I've heard Joe B commentate a lot. He's been doing it for 20 years. I haven't heard all of them, but that is the most animated I've ever heard Joe B commentate.
And shocked at the same time.
6'1".
That's the most shocked I've ever heard him.
6'1".
Usually he knows what to say. He didn't know. I mean, he knew what to say. I mean, no one did.
No, I did it.
Truly and truthfully.
You
You see 6'1", you're like,
I looked up and I said, I knew I was fast. Don't get me wrong. I thought I was 6'4", 6'5", but 6'1", dude, I looked up and I rode out the arena, people think, yeah, everyone takes me, keep your head up. I'm like, dude, I'm pumped up, dude. I rode right out the arena. Kev got up, dude. I'm putting my rope off, taking my rope off my horse. I'm still like, holy shit, dude. 6'1", what? Fred's turned up. Everybody was turned up at that moment. There was not a down moment. Whether Kev got up, I lost $30,000. I didn't care. I mean, I rode to the trailer to the hotel. That was the night me and Fred went out, and he showed the buckle with Derek Will's Super Bowl ring. Nothing was down on me that night, dude. I just knew that was crazy. And I just showed people what could happen. It was insane.
I'm just
man.
pissed I wasn't there. Freak.
we'll talk about that later.
Freaking should've been-
It was so loud, Cole. Thomas and Mac, I bet it's never been that loud. I mean, Haven just broke the arena record that's been there forever, and then I come right behind him and was 6'1", like that. It had never been that loud. But the year I went 6'5", John was right in front of me and was 6'6", and right behind him I was 6'5".
That's true.
So that's just kind of what brings it out of me. Until someone's 6'4" or 6'3" and gives me a purpose, it's hard to do. It's hard to just back in the box. You can't. There were so many times last NFR, I'm running at 2 gold buckles and I'm back in the box thinking about that 6-1 or looking at my draw and thinking about that 6-1. Like, I want to go back out there and try to get that back, but you can't just back in the box and just do that. It's the moments when Haven's 6-4 or John's 6-6 right in front of you and you come right behind them 6-1, 6-5. Those are the moments when you can do it.
That's freaking rodeo.
Let's freaking rodeo, boys. That's rodeo right there.
That's rodeo, baby.
But that, like I said, it goes back to the practice film with my dad. One swing, get it on. Every time, I was practicing for that moment when I was 12, 13, 14 years old. I was ready for that moment. Like that, we was tying Kevs in 6 in the practice pen. It wasn't no going down there time in 10, 11. We're tying them in 6 every freaking time. I mean, I guarantee you, no barrier, time in 5, 6, 7 seconds all night. Me and Monty. Back to back to back. And like I said, I learned the most from Monty Lewis. He's been the biggest coming up helper in my roping for sure. Him and my dad.
When we interviewed him, when we interviewed Monty, we should have asked about Shad, I guess.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, a lot of people don't realize that I roped with Monty. Like that was the guy when I was a kid. The last year he made the finals, maybe 13, 14, he was coming roping with us.
Talk about mental game. I mean, he's a freaking killer too.
He's a killer. He's underrated. Monty is that guy. Still that guy. I mean, he's go back and watch his old roping videos, man. He's underrated. He was a great roper too.
Had stole it out from under. I mean, not stole it, but in Fred and Cody's era.
Yeah, he had good horsepower. And the year he won the world, don't forget, it was Cody and Fred's prime.
That's what we talked about. Yeah. You won a world championship in Cody and Fred Whitfield's prime.
Don't leave out Monty Lewis. He did that. It was Fred Cody. Oh, Monty Lewis. Oh, who? Fred Cody. Oh no. Monty was that guy too. Don't take him out of the picture.
Since 2000, world champions. Since 2000, it's like 5 guys in the steer wrestling. But you look at calf roping across the sports, it's very rare that you have a different guy each year. The cream rises to the top. If you ain't at the top, I mean, you look over a 20-year span, there's about 3-4 guys that get remembered. You know what I'm saying?
Good luck getting you one. I got respect for Durfee, Marcos, Monty, Herbert Terrio. Even back to Troy Pruitt in 90 when you're getting Joe's heyday. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
yeah. It don't matter if you got 1 or 20, you got one.
World champion.
Yeah, that buckle will be there forever.
There's a lot of difference. A lot of difference in an NFR qualifier and a world champion.
Yep. There is, like Justin Moss said, and you get that extra chip on your shoulder when you get a buckle, for sure.
Well, congratulations on your success, man. Thank you so much for coming and talking to us.
Thank y'all for having me on. Let's freaking rodeo.
Let's freaking rodeo.